Alright guys, I think I'm finally ready to get this started. So, my name is Arthur Perkins. Thank you all for joining me tonight. We are playing Pathfinder Society Ruleset, Season 5, Scenario number 8, The Confirmation. If everyone could just introduce their characters from left to right, starting with Tim playing Ben.
Ben is a Asmar. He is about 5'9", skinny. He's wearing some leather armor. He looks sort of shady. I don't know if I would trust him like with dating my daughter or anything. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, so next up I think is Miles playing Claude.
It's Cloud.
Cloud.
Cloud is an Inquisitor of Gozre, the Storm Lord. He's about 5'11", white hair, carries a trident and a crossbow.
Aldous is a Kadiran from a small river town of Poka, very dusky skinned, wearing a multicolored turban that has a part of it just like streaming down his back. That he kind of uses to hide stuff in. He looks relatively unarmed except for the chain shirt. The perceptive eye may be able to make out some daggers. Definitely quick with a smile, but quicker with said daggers. So yeah.
Verity is an Asmar. She's about 5'10", long, dark, black hair, looking almost purplish, and bright amethyst-colored eyes. She carries a katana and wears all black with just a small symbol of a gold hourglass embroidered on her shirt in the upper left corner over her heart.
Alright, I think that leaves Ben playing Zook.
Okay. Zook is a gnome bard who's got the prankster archetype, so he's gonna be kind of like a trickster and give lots of bonuses and stuff and enchant people.
Alright, cool guys. So, try to know who's going ahead of you in the turn order tonight. Just standard rules. Keep your turns less than 30 seconds unless it's really necessary. I just noticed that I haven't even given Ben his character yet. Jeez. And if you can try to just limit background noise. I think someone has an open mic while they're typing. I can't really tell who.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
I've got toggle mute though, so I can do that.
Alright, awesome. And we will get started here. Everyone should have their character. And there are a number of fine handouts in the journal section for you to look over, just in case you don't know what your Season 5 faction goal is. The invitation delivered late last night was remarkably simple, especially given the importance of the occasion. Start where it all began. Meet us at the Pig's Paunch 1 hour before dawn. The Pig's Paunch is a run-down building with a faded sign of a large pig standing on its hind legs, arms folded above a corpulent belly. Inside, the air is thick with the sense of human sweat, stale tobacco, and leftover food. In the center of the room, surrounded by inebriates sleeping off their revelries, a familiar elven man stands high upon the top of a large round table. Welcome, welcome, my students. Please have a seat. With that, Creighton Shane, the Pathfinder Society's Master of Scrolls, nimbly drops down to sit cross-legged on the table before looking about the tavern with a sense of reverent wonder. Can you believe it? It all started here years ago. Well, over 400 of them at least. Under this very roof, the Pathfinder Society was born. But today you will begin your confirmation. Master Farabellis, Master Zay, and I all agree that you have each shown your worth and dedication to the Society. So there's no better time to see if you can handle becoming full field operatives. Please allow me to introduce you to Janira Gavix, he says as he motions for an excitable halfling woman to approach. She wears a large backpack and carries all manner of tools, pouches, and scroll cases around her waist. Shane continues, saying, Janira here will be going with you on your confirmation. She was one of my brightest pupils and will no doubt be an invaluable resource to your journey. For she discovered the caves that you are about to explore during your own confirmation. Janira speaks up in an enthusiastic and cheerful voice. Greetings, aspiring Pathfinders! 6 months ago, I was mapping cave entrances in the foothills of the Kortos Mountains, when I witnessed a lone Gilman entering a concealed cave. I thought little of it at the time, but I saw another one enter the cave again a month later, as my confirmation stretched on. A few days later, I completed my assigned task and I entered the cave system, but I was unable to find the Gilman. Master Shane hops to his feet. Initiates! For your confirmation, you'll be heading to these caves to explore and document their many passages. Additionally, and most importantly, you are to learn what the Gilman are up to in there. Oh, you need to come back alive as well. With these parting words, the Master of Scrolls jumps off the table and strolls out of the building while humming to himself. You have a few brief moments to ask some questions of Janira.
Was there anything dangerous inside the caves that we should know about?
Oh, well, I never went in the caves.
Why not?
I figured I'd be okay.
Do we know anything about these Gilman?
What do you know about Gilman? Well, a Gilman is an advanced humanoid race, much like human, except where they have 3 peace sign gills on either side of their neck. They're a little secretive, but not outright hostile. Most of them live in or near the water.
Other than this cave, do you know what sort of terrain we will be traversing?
Oh, we're going to cross all the way to the Kortos Mountains to the north. There's going to be mountains, and plains, and mountains. And there's a cave at the end.
Am I to understand that she will be accompanying us?
Oh yes, I'll be accompanying you. It would be really bad for you to die. It would look bad at me, so do your best to stay alive.
Sounds great.
Do you have any other questions?
I don't.
Alright, well, before we go, you should remember, explore, report, cooperate. Now during this time, you can see what you might already know about the area by making a knowledge geography or knowledge history check.
I am not very knowledgeable about those two things.
Do you have anyone with any knowledge of those two things?
I got local.
Don't we have a bard?
Yes, but he hasn't got those skills yet. He will have in a couple of levels, probably. Only get so many skill points. Can't put point in everything.
Well, alright then. Janira pulls out a large leather-bound journal and opens it on the table. Before we set out, we should all get to know each other and review our plan. After all, the most important factors that determine whether an expedition will be a success are cooperation and preparation. I'll go first. Now, we've already introduced our characters. Janira introduces herself as aspiring young Pathfinder who spends most of her time working with the Master of Scrolls, Creighton Shane. Janira is, as you might suspect from her excitable state, a bard. She's actually the oldest of her clan, and very clearly a halfling. She grew up in Eastgate, where her father still works as a porter. She and her family revere Desna, and she often looks forward to her times with worship. She is equally skilled in the arts of the whip, the blade, and the crossbow. You also notice she has a few scroll packages and loose potions hanging about, as well as a number of alchemical items. Then she turns to Ben and asks, "What about you? What made you decide to join the Pathfinder Society?"
I got bored sitting and studying, and I wanted to explore more of the world.
I see. How about you, Cloud?
The Pathfinders have made an interesting presence where I grew up.
Oh, and where's that?
Well, they seem to flit about, going hither and yon for no real reason of their own accord. I just was curious as to how they decided where to go. Me, I follow the winds, but perhaps the winds are telling me this is my path.
I see. That's very deep. And you? How about you, Aldous?
I tried to steal from a boat that was captained, a river barge that was captained by a former Pathfinder. He gave me the option of taking one of my hands or allowing me to work off a debt. And that time he told me stories of his time as a Pathfinder and gave me a few names of connections that he still had. I must say that I was young enough to be enthralled by the stories, and I found myself here.
Well, alright then. It's good to hear that you haven't lost your hand yet. That would make it much harder to be a Pathfinder. And Verity, why are you here?
Well, you see, I needed to find a place where my particular skill set might be useful. And it seemed like, according to the tavern stories I heard, and the stories in, well, some of the more interesting brothels, that the Pathfinder Society would provide some adventure and allow me to hone my skill with a sword instead of dancing. So I thought it would be fun.
I see. And you, Zook? Are we missing Zook?
I just came in search of knowledge, and I thought that the Pathfinder Society would be a good place to get such knowledge. I do like to find out new things.
Search of knowledge.
Well, alright. On to the details of the mission at hand, Janira says with an eager grin. After reviewing my mission reports personally, Master Shane believes it is no coincidence that each time they entered the caves it was during a full moon. So it is also no coincidence that you have been called here now, just a day before the moon is full again. We both believe that tomorrow night is our best chance to figure out why these caves are important, and what exactly the Gilman are doing in there. The caves we'll be traveling to lie under the base of the Kortos Mounts. We'll need to spend every minute of daylight possible to reach these caves by foot, crossing over the Cairnlands, taking the pass to Diobel, and finally making our way through the wilderness. With any luck, we won't run into any of the local inhabitants. Once in the caves, we'll need to work together to explore and determine whether any Gilman are present or have been recently. Keep an eye out for any other clues that might hint at the cave's significance, too. Now, before we head out, if there aren't any more questions, we should take a moment to look through your gear and make sure nothing important has been left out. I suspect that some of you may lack valuable items like a rope, a light source, food, a way to make fire, a source of healing, and other essentials. Also, in my time, I've learned that swarms can be a deadly enemy. It would be wise to keep alchemist fire on hand. Also, antitoxins in case we encounter giant anacondas. They like to live in the jungle. It's also very important that you keep an accurate record of your adventure. Now, for those of you who are here tonight, you'll need to either start a document chronicling your adventures or start an email. And at the end of the night, I will need your copy of what has transpired. You will need notes recording your findings that will contribute to your success on this mission. Everyone got something like that they can get started with?
Yep.
Alright, excellent.
I guess so.
What's the name of the tavern?
Sorry, what was the question?
What was the name of the tavern we're in?
The name of the tavern you're in? A good question. It is the Pig's Paunch. Now, did anyone need to buy anything? Anything that might have been suggested by Janira?
I need to pick up an alchemist fire. Or, actually, I'll pick up two.
A wise move.
That would require having money.
I too have no money left.
I would like to spend a few 2 prestige points on getting a wand of cure light wounds.
Alright.
I would like to also spend a little bit of money. I'll buy get a remove disease. Find a local church, maybe of Shelling, available, and find a Goodman there to cast a remove disease on me. Also, probably scour the lower level of town to find me a nice little pickpocketing outfit with some hidden pockets inside.
Is that for your day job at the end?
Yeah, most likely.
Alright.
But I have a pretty significant pickpocket. I'm also using it, like I said, I just pretty much have daggers hidden on me at all times, like just trying to conceal them.
Okay.
Got strapped. I think. Oh yeah, and I'll go ahead and take a flask of alchemist fire.
Right? Anyone got anything else? As you progress deeper into the forest, the trees towering overhead begin to shield what remains of the day's sun, and the vegetation beneath grows denser. Janira pauses for a moment and pulls out an intricate silver compass emblazoned with the Pathfinder Society logo, the glyph of the open road. I received this wayfinder when I successfully completed my confirmation. Should we be successful in our journey, you will get one as well for your own. She flips open the device in front of her. The initials JG are engraved on the inside of the locket's lid. After studying the compass for a moment, she remarks, "We're on the right path. We need to keep heading northwest past these large rocks up ahead." You can assemble yourself inside the box on the map layer however you wish. You are heading northwest.
Is there any ability to take a stealth check, or I guess since we're moving as a group, it really doesn't matter this time?
In order to stealth, you need to have some form of cover or concealment, and you're walking in the middle of the forest in the open.
Fair enough. Start covering myself in dirt where Mother Nature is covered.
That sounds like it'd be very smelly. Everyone set for their journey then?
Yep.
Alright. Roll for initiative. Alright, your route seems to have taken you through the hunting grounds of several predators as a pair of young hippogryphs appear out of the sky. Janira identifies them for you and tells you to be prepared for combat.
I've never seen hippogriffs on this before.
Who am I missing off of here?
Cloud. And Aldous.
Do we have an Eldest?
Yeah, 1 second. Sorry for that.
Alright. I don't know that automatically adds you. Just.
Oh, did it not add it to the tracker?
Yeah, I got it though.
Okay, I'll
Did you miss? Were you clicking on your character at the time?
I was, but I can edit it real quick.
Alright, so let's see here. We start with this hippogriff who comes diving out of the sky and does a flying charge. Slamming into Aldous. Aldous, what is your flat-footed AC?
Should be 18, I believe.
For flat-foot?
Oh, I'm sorry, no, with missing my dex and whatnot, right?
Yep.
It's gonna be 14.
Alright, it slams into you successfully. And it gets a bite off. It's going to be pretty weak, but you'll take 3 damage in the process.
Okay.
Cloud.
Skip up. Draw my trident and stab it and pokey pokey.
Alright.
Miss. Done.
Okay, the other hippogryph launches itself through the air, slamming into Verity. I'm gonna think that probably will hit your flat foot.
Yeah.
Unless you're the most well-armored ninja in existence. For 4 damage as it kind of gets in your face and then bites you on your hand. Aldous.
Okay, I would like to move here. Rolling acrobatics to get around an attack of opportunity.
Okay.
That's 9. I'm going to pull up my little cheat sheet here. Huh.
Alright, it's gonna get an AOO as you roll around it. I'm guessing a 15 is not gonna hit you.
I know it will not.
Okay, you slip around behind it as it reaches out to bite you.
Can I hold the rest of my turn, or do I need to finish it up?
You can ready a attack if you would like.
I'll ready an attack as soon as someone begins to threaten it. I will,
You mean to flank it with you?
yeah, as soon as somebody flanks.
Okay, so Janira begins telling the tale of Ragnar the Red, how he rode to Whitefall from Old Rorikstead, and inspires confidence, so you get +1 to hit and damage. That's everybody. Zook.
Zook looks in a bit of disdain at what's she called?
Janira Gavix.
Janira. Looks in a bit of disdain at Janira, as that's what he usually does. And then attacks the hippogryph, this one.
Okay. What are you using?
A crossbow. It's in melee, right?
It is.
Okay, so okay, that's a miss.
Okay. Your shot sails wide.
And then I'm gonna 5 foot back and stand there.
Alright.
Actually, I'm gonna move off to the side and kind of go around here.
Okay. Ben.
I will move up here and try to stab this one with my spear.
Okay. And Aldous, you'll get your readied action as well.
And I miss.
A 15 is going to hit. I'm guessing that's with sneak attack damage.
Correct.
Alright, it's a pretty savage blow. Now, Ben's distracting from the front and you kind of hit it right in its liver. Which brings us up to Verity.
I will go ahead and finish off this hippogryph. Hopefully. So 5 damage.
With an additional 5 damage, it is staggered. It will attempt a partial withdrawal. Just Aldous is going to get an AOO on it, and yep, Aldous, if you'd like to take your attack of opportunity as it flies away, it gets a wing just past you, and then you stab it in its foot, nailing it into the ground where it falls unconscious. Cloud.
Move and miss.
All right. Hippogryph is going to put a bite on Verity and then 2 claws on Cloud, trying to force you guys back as it begins to disengage. So is a 19 going to hit Verity?
Sadly, yes.
And is a 17 going to hit Cloud?
Yes.
All right. There are D4 and a D3.
Really?
Some good damage. So 4 on Verity, 3 on Cloud, and it kind of...
Verity drops.
Oh. Are you down?
I'm at 0. I'm staggered.
Alright, you're staggered. The 3 to Cloud, and it starts edging away. Janira... Let's see what Janira's got in her big bag of tricks. She casts Cure Light Wounds and then delivers it to Verity. For 8 healing. Zook.
Zook is going to. He's quite surprised that this hippogryph seems to have lined itself quite up very well for him to attack. So just oh, that should have been with a +1. That doesn't matter.
So we're gonna sail quite past it.
Yeah.
Alright, Aldous.
I'll move here. I guess no one's within, even though Ben has a spear, he's not threatening it, I'm assuming, right?
That's right.
Okay. So I'll go the long way around, preventing an attack of opportunity.
Yep.
And I will ready an action to make one attack if somebody gets into a flanking position.
Alright, Ben.
I will move to here and take a stab.
You sure you want to move to there? And my only question for that is because Aldous is waiting for a
Yeah,
a
but
flank.
Verity also has a sneak attack, and I thought I was gonna miss.
That is a good point. That is an excellent point. So you will hit. Are you including your...
No, that is not including the Inspire
Okay.
Competence.
Alright, it'll definitely hit. And that brings up Verity, who will trigger Aldous, I suspect.
Yes.
So if you would both like to make your flanking sneak attacks,
9 points of damage.
the two of
13.
you... the 13, are you including the +2 for flank?
Oh no, sorry, 15. Yeah.
So the 15 will hit. The two of you together just start stabbing it. One of your swords comes away with a kidney. Who's to say which one? And it dies a horrible death. Janira cheers everybody on. You all seem pretty good on health, but she will drop a Cure Light Wounds on the 2 people who are injured, just for safe measure. So Cloud gets 9 and Aldous gets 8. Janira says, "It's excellent that you have your first successful battle together, and I didn't even have to step in. Well, we should pack up and move on in order to reach the caves by dusk. I believe that if we don't reach the caves tonight, any Gilman who are present may leave before we arrive." Now, as you're traveling, you find your path blocked by fallen objects, overgrowth, and other minor delays. Can anybody make a survival check to keep you on schedule?
Yeah.
Anybody else want to give it a shot? Okay, Cloud. You have found the way through. Everyone else is out picking berries and looking at this strange leaf. You're like, no, it's poisonous! You eventually make it on time. The dense forest opens to a wide clearing at the base of a sheer cliff. Thick vines cover the surface of the cliff, stretching 30 feet overhead. Here, the entrance to the cave is behind these vines, Janira says with a broad smile as she walks to the cliff's face. She pulls back several layers of vegetation to reveal a narrow crack in the cliff's surface. This is where I saw the Gilman enter earlier. As she motions toward the cave entrance, the surrounding woods come alive with the sound of small animals fleeing some unknown danger, and a large creature comes crashing through the undergrowth. The halfling worriedly remarked, "Quick! Take cover before whatever it is spots us!" As if she'd summoned the creature with her words, a massive horned monstrosity emerges from the trees. Standing 8 feet tall on a pair of cloven hooves and wielding a tremendous axe, the bull-headed creature roars with unbridled anger when it spots the group. Wisely assessing that a minotaur is beyond her capabilities, Janira screams, "A minotaur! There's little chance we can stand against it! Take my bag," she says, pulling off her backpack, "and head deeper into the caves! Finish your mission! I'll lead it away from the caves and lose it in the forest, and you can join as soon as I can. Now go! Go!" She heaves her backpack into the cave, casts a spell, and darts off toward the minotaur before trying to lure it away. So you have a ability, or I'm sorry, you have a choice here. You can either attempt to go with Janira and fight this minotaur, who I must add looks exceedingly badass, or you can pick up her bag and go into the cave, as you were ordered.
Verity's grabbing the bag and heading into the cave.
So let's see some votes in party chats, and if you want to take a minute to talk about it, that would probably be a very wise idea.
Overconfidence is the key to many deaths. Janira knows what she is capable of and is experienced at such battle. If she believes it is too much for us, we should indeed flee.
As I said before, I'm still learning the sword. Okay with it, but not great. And, you know, I don't feel like being gored.
And decide that the cave is our mission. The Minotaur is not.
Could you give us a position of where they would be located?
What do you mean?
Right. Could you show them on the map? Like, would either of them be located still within our field of view?
Yes. Would that make a difference in your decision?
Possibly. Considering
the Minotaur is about 100 feet away across the river. Janira is currently charging toward it. I mean, if you don't act quick, this thing's going to be upon you. So, I'm seeing 2 people for the cave, 1 for killing it. We still have 2 votes here. That's 3 for the cave, so there's a majority. And as we know, majorities rule.
Except if you're the US Senate.
Oh, please no. Please no.
Sorry. Couldn't resist.
So, who picked up Janira's backpack?
I grabbed it.
So let's see here. It contains almost all of her gear. Let me just list that out for you in case you need it. She has helpfully labeled all of them with little smiley faces where the eyes should be dotted. The only thing missing out of that gear is her weapons and her scroll of shatter.
What? We don't get a scroll of shatter?
Nope.
Why not? It's an awesome spell. I wonder why she didn't use it to shatter the thing's weapon.
Excellent question.
It didn't make sense. That would work really well. She could do it from range and end the fight really easily.
I'll grab a sunrod and a masterwork chain shirt. If that's okay with her.
Well, she needs that. She's currently wearing it.
Oh, this stuff is listed, and I thought this.
I'm sorry, everything listed under other gear, she should be carrying all down at the bottom, plus
Okay.
that scroll.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, as two of us don't have alchemist fires, I suggest take one each, and then we'll both have an alchemist fire.
I'll take the wand of cure light wounds since I don't have to roll on it.
Sounds like a good idea.
Can anyone use the burning hands one? Let's check if I have that spell. I don't know.
I got use magic device. I can try and yeah.
Does anyone need mage armor casting on them? Anyone who hasn't got full armor already, or would need that?
I wouldn't call it a need, but I could benefit from it.
Okay. Anyone else benefit, or just the one person?
I wouldn't turn it down.
Okay, who out of you two has the lowest current AC?
I'm wearing Lamellar.
Okay, and what's your total AC?
You don't know that.
I know.
It's not magic. It's Lamellar. It has a +3 bonus.
I'll take
Okay.
that wand of vanish. Or I'm sorry, potion of vanish. I'm sorry.
Okay, and the other person who said they would benefit from it?
We're both. Oh, we're the same AC probably. So, but doesn't matter.
Okay, well, one of you should have that cast on you. You can decide between you. It will last for 6 hours.
Give it to Verity.
Okay.
She seems more keen to engage.
I don't have mage armor on my spell list.
Nope, it's
what-
pretty mage-tastic. Reserved for mages.
What DC would be required to cast that?
From the scroll?
Mhm.
An interesting question.
The caster level check. DC is 5 plus the caster level of the scroll, if it's above your caster level. And on your list.
I don't think it is.
It is not on his list, so I don't know if you can activate a scroll of something that's not on your list.
If it's not on your list, the DC is 25 plus spell level.
That's rough.
That's really high.
What's the spell level?
6.
One.
1, but the caster level is 6.
Spell level
Does that-
1.
Does that affect it?
There's a small chance in hell that I could pass that.
So if the DC is 26, that means I would require a 20. Can I take
Yeah.
20 and try it 20 times?
Nope.
Same. I have a +6 on UMD.
Well, if I rolled loads and loads and loads of times, I got a 20 before I got a 1, then it would work. So would you give it a go? We just load the d20s in one roll.
Is there a penalty for failure?
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you
there's a
fail, you
potential for
can't use
mishap.
it. You can't use it for 24 hours.
So the key would be you can't take 20 if the first time you fail you can't use it.
Yeah, but if I only succeed on a 20 as well. So if I get a 20 before I get a 1, it works.
Can we both attempt it, or is that only going to be used only one of us?
Well, one of us could try it, and then if we fail, then the other one could try it. What's your
Sure.
UMD check?
It's +6.
Okay, mine as well. So I will try first and see if I get a 1 before I get 20. And
I like this scene. We just start rummaging through the bag.
the bracket required. There we go.
Yeah, 203.
I got a 1 first. Damn it. Okay, you try.
What was that you rolled there?
20d20.
Okay.
Doesn't really matter how many you do, just then look at the roll and see if you get a 20 before you get a 1.
Very
nope,
close.
you got 1 as well. Okay, so neither of us can use it, so... Hello.
Oh, well.
So what do we have before us when we enter the cave?
Are we ready to get started moving on?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was gonna take. I'll be here. I'll take the potion of vanish, but that's about really all I want out of that.
Okay.
Potion of bark
It's
skin.
one burning
One
hand.
of the two with low AC, you can take the potion of bark skin and get a +2 natural armor bonus when drinking it for 10 minutes.
I'll take a holy water.
So does Verity want the potion of bark skin?
Sure.
Alright, the narrow tunnel twists and turns for several hundred feet before slowly opening to a wider passage. A large hole spans the cave's width and stretches 10 feet down the path. At the bottom of the pit lies a small bundle of cloth. Now that you're here, you can make a knowledge dungeoneering or survival check. Ben, you learn that this hole in the ground is artificial. Someone seems to have made it.
I relay that to the group.
Where's the hole in the ground?
Directly in front of you. It's not on the map, it's in your imagination.
Okay. Why didn't they put it on the map?
I don't know. Probably because they didn't
Because
have a
you-
battle map for a hole in the ground.
As you after going into the hole, you still travel for a while before there's an encounter. That's why. The map would have to be huge.
So, it is a 10-foot square pit here. Do you have any
Is
way
there
to
any
get
space
past
to the
it?
side of it?
I have
There is
rope.
not. What are you doing with the rope?
Is there any form of rock structure that we can go tie it off to and jump into the pit? And how deep is
Sure.
the pit, you said?
Pit
Um,
is 20 feet deep.
Would a
It is-
higher knowledge dungeoneering check yield us any more information?
Probably. The bottom 10 feet of the pit are flooded. Is flooded. You learn that this pit, not only is it non-natural, but it's at least a year old.
You said there was a bundle of what in the pit?
A bundle of cloth. It's floating in the water. I think someone has an open mic again. Lots of noise. I think it's Zook. You might have an open mic.
Yep.
I'll climb down and grab whatever that is in the water.
Okay.
If somebody wants to hold on to the end of the rope and...
I was just gonna fish it out like magic, like a claw game, but sure, yeah. I'll hold on to the rope.
Is there any result of the detect magic?
There is a result.
What do I
It is
detect?
magical.
In what way?
It is magical. You can attempt to identify the school with a knowledge arcana check, or you can attempt to identify the item with a spellcraft check.
I will do.
You have to examine
oh.
the item for 3 rounds to do the spellcraft.
Yes.
I will do the knowledge arcana first.
Sorry, did Verity already retrieve it?
Not yet.
So
Oh, I
it's
did?
about-
Say
Okay.
yes. You just
Okay.
go down there and pick it up. You don't learn anything further from knowledge arcana.
Okay, I try spellcraft. As we now have the item.
Yeah, you can't identify it from that either. Just a very nice looking cloak that's now completely waterlogged.
Someone should just put it on. What could
Yeah,
be what's the worst that
can I roll appraise on it to see that before it got all mildewy and wet, if it was worth anything?
Well, it's a magic cloak.
Okay, so like just not to see like what kind of fabric or anything. Like, I'm talking about just like sheepskin. What are we talking about here? It's got any embroidery? Is this
Yeah,
rock?
it's a blue cloak. It's got a couple fish all along the borders of it, and there's a giant turtle in the back of it.
So you're telling me there's no sequins,
No sequence.
no rhinestones? I'm out. Nope. I'll throw it on, sure.
Okay. You have a cloak. Now, you still have this pit to get across.
Do we need to traverse the pit, like actually go over it, or do we need to go down? I mean, it was just a small pit with a waterlogged cloak in it.
Yeah, the pit is blocking your path.
I'm gonna look around, see if there's anything that could help us get across.
It's
Yeah, I'll do that.
Or
pretty
Well,
smooth
it's
cavern
worth
here.
jumping across.
The ceiling is devoid of stalactites. There's not a lot going on in this tunnel here. You look exceptionally closely, and you're just not seeing anything. There's a lot of, rocky dirt on the floor. Kind of a gravel mix, but other than that,
How far beyond the pit can we see?
30 feet beyond the pit is a corner.
And how wide is the pit again?
10 foot by 10.
I'll go ahead and attempt to jump it
Okay,
I can
with a
also
running
jump it.
start.
okay. Darkus, I think your mic is still open. So lots of background noise from typing. Alright, you just sail over the pit. And so does Verity, which gets you guys over the pit. But what about the rest of the party?
I look to see if I can find anything on this side of the pit that would be of use.
Okay. Around the corner, you find a 3-foot wide wooden plank.
I'll extend that over the pit, and I'll go ahead and take care of that, and have Verity maybe do a lookout to make sure nothing sneaks up on me while I secure it.
Okay. Alright, everyone just walks over the plank. The tunnels continue on, leading deeper beneath the Kortos mounts until they eventually open into a large cavern. What must have once been beautifully carved reliefs and inscriptions have since weathered heavily, their features dulled and softened to the point that it is hard to distinguish between what was once depicted. A wide tunnel exits the cavern on the far side, and blue burning torches line the passageway's walls. The carvings here are in a different style from the petroglyphs found elsewhere. Scattered among the cave are inscriptions from the History and Future of Humanity, the principal holy text of Erodin. Only 4 parables seem to remain decipherable. You will need to make a knowledge, history, religion, or linguistics check to understand what's going on here. Or you can make a appraise or perception check. If you'd like to make those checks, please put what you're using when you type it out. Zook, you identify 3 of the passages. You know that they are the craftsman, the fisherman, and the shepherd. Verity also notices the tailor. Working together, you can identify and decipher the texts. The holy texts depicted here are slightly different than those that appear in the known versions of the History and Future of Humanity, suggesting that these might represent an earlier version of the work.
You said the craftsman, the tailor, the shepherd, and the what?
The craftsman, the fisherman, the shepherd, and the tailor. You know that there is a brief ritual tied to each of Erodin's guises that are depicted. If there was some sort of holy shrine, you could attempt to perform these rituals and receive a divine blessing. You learn the following clues as to what those rituals might be. The craftsman is depicted creating shoes, pots, jewelry, and other movable goods, referencing Erodin's delight at seeing his people express their ingenuity by creating new products from raw materials. The fisherman is depicted hauling an enormous catch of small fish back to Absalom, illustrating Erodin's declaration that a great host of creatures could accomplish a great task, whether that be taming the wilds or feeding a nation. The shepherd is depicted herding animals out of a crowded city to the pastures beyond, just as Erodin blessed leaders with the foresight to direct people to tasks and the places that best suit them. The tailor is depicted sewing together a long cloth, featuring many patterns that wrap around a city like a moat, referencing Erodin's proclamation that the fate of all people is woven together. It shall be humanity's greatest strength. What would you guys like to do?
I'd like to take a rubbing of the glyphs that we've translated
Okay.
for later reference. And then, if time permits, take a rubbing of those that we could not decipher.
Alright.
I'll help out with that. And how do you spell that god's name again? Because I can't ever remember.
Aroden. Alright. So, what's happening?
So these are on the cave walls as we're walking towards the larger section of the cave.
They are in this cave area. Oh, sorry. They're in this cave area.
Okay.
That should work.
And we see the bridge crossing over.
Bridge, cave. It's always hard to tell with this map. It's listed as
Gotcha.
being a tunnel.
Ah, okay.
But who knows? They like to reuse this map all the time.
Yes.
Sometimes it's a fissure, sometimes it's not.
I just searched the area after helping with making the carvings to see if there's anything else of interest.
Alright, you don't find anything further of interest beyond the wall torches. They seem to be brightly glowing blue flames.
I don't feel like pissing off whoever put them there, so I'm gonna leave the torches alone.
Okay, I think we have someone with an open mic, by the way. I'm getting a lot of noise.
Okay, I'm gonna head into the tunnel if nobody else objects.
Okay, because that was getting really awkward. Alright, the soft light of the surrounding fungus mixed with the flickering glow of nearby torches to reveal a grand chamber. A large pool of water nearby, along the chamber's southern edge, reflects a blue and green radiance to illuminate the massive stalactites that cling to the ceiling overhead. Two other tunnels branch off from this area, leading to the east and west. Rising from the pool is a column of rock, with steeply sloped sides and a flat top, as if someone has sawn off the top of a massive stalagmite. A miniature city is carved from the same stone that occupies nearly the entire surface. Tiny trinkets such as ancient coins, polished semi-precious stones, and ornately braided loops of string are scattered throughout the diorama, and pale cave frogs clamber atop it. The smooth cavern floor is covered in gravel and pebbles along with the edge of the pool, and several foot-long centipedes prowl along the gravel, searching for prey. You see a man sitting in front of this diorama. You can make a knowledge, engineering, geography, history, local, or religion check. You identify this as a diorama with intricate detail of Absalom, easily identifiable by its starstone cathedral. This representation of the city at the center of the world seems to act as an altar, capable of providing a brief blessing. The man standing there does not seem to notice you. I think someone still has an open mic while sneezing.
Yeah, failed his fortitude save.
Hello. How are you today?
The man does not appear to respond as you approach and speak.
Describe what he looks like one more time. I'm sorry.
He is short, about 5 feet tall. He has a number of gills coming down the side of his mouth. You see he has very wild black hair that seems to have been uncombed for some time. He has a necklace of seashells, which you can see coming from over his shoulder. He has yet to turn or acknowledge you in any way.
I'm gonna go check out the city.
So when you walk into his field of view, he turns towards you and says, "Who are you?"
Hello, I'm Verity Seeker, member of the Pathfinder Society and all-around explorer. Just kind of checking this out. It's kind of interesting. Did you make it?
So Cloud, even though you're addressing him in Aquan, he does not acknowledge you. But then he begins looking around the room. He turns back toward Verity and looks at her intently and says, "I did not make it. This is a shrine to a foolish person. It was once sacred to a Rodin, the god of humanity, but he is long dead, at least a century. This place, however, is blessed for the Gilman. We come here after long travels. Make a sense motive check. Everybody in the area. Right, you notice that he is eyeing, I believe it was Claude that took the cloak? Who took
Actually,
that?
I'm
Aldous, I think.
Aldous, he's eyeing you pretty intently.
sense motive check though.
Yep. Okay, you see him eyeing the cloak very intently. He has his own similar robe lying on the floor outside of the pool. It seems to be of similar style and color.
I like almost with quick draw, take the cloak off and with a flashing a pearly white smile, kind of bow and gesture it to him like kind of as a gift.
Would you like to make a diplomacy check while you're doing that?
Can anybody assist with that?
Sure.
I can certainly.
Everyone can
I
assist.
see you're quite interesting and quite interested in that cloak. We found it at the bottom of a pit. Would it perhaps belong to you or one of yours? We'd be more than happy to give it back.
So you're talking behind him, Verity, as he's still looking at Aldous, and he doesn't acknowledge you at all.
I move around so that he can see me. So, I'm beginning to wonder if you actually hear me, instead of just watching what I say. So, apologies. We found this within the pit, up beyond that hallway there. Would it perhaps be yours or somebody you know? We're more than happy to give it back to you.
He says, "I am deaf. The great gods of the sea have burdened me with this curse to grant me their great blessings of the unknowable future. I must read your lips in order to communicate." So, is anyone else assisting with Aldous' diplomacy. Because the 6 is pretty bad.
I got a 15.
Yep, that will give him a +2.
I have a thing from running Crypt of the Everflame. Could I use my reroll on that and burn it?
Crypt of the Everflame gives you a reroll?
Yeah, it's like one of the scales from the guy's scale mill or something, I believe.
Okay, make sure to mark off the boon.
Sure.
Alright. With all of that together, he seems to be friendly.
Wait.
He says, soon, soon, the shrine will be only to the Gilman. A rodent's touch upon this world is fading. The carvings in the nearby rooms have all weathered and melted, and when his touch is gone, they too will be gone. I thank you for returning our priestly vestments. They will be given to another brother.
You're worried about the carvings being lost to time. Well, we did take some rubbings.
No,
off to
I
bring
don't
back.
care if the carvings are lost to time.
I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
A rodent is a stupid god. No one likes him because he is dead. This is a Gilman site. However, if you wish to perform rituals to your human god, he looks around and says, actually, none of you are actually human, right?
Aldous is human.
I am not so good with the races. Apparently Aldous is human. He says, if you wish to perform a ritual to your human god, I will not stop you. He steps back from the pool. Let's give you guys space.
I just kind of whisper to Verity, I was like, can you stand in front of him and ask him if there's anything else in this cave we should worry about? I'm gonna just kind of go over here and make a little holy sign, bow my head, and then let's get out of here.
Didn't we find out that we could possibly get a blessing from this altar if we did some rituals?
You did find
Yeah,
it.
I'm not really a holy guy. Like, I really, like, I pray to gold. I'm from Kadira. Like, shelling is great and all, but I gotta get paid.
Well, yes, getting paid is important, but eventually we're going to have to walk out of this cave and perhaps face that minotaur after all. So I'm willing to try and get a blessing from anyone at this point.
Okay. Being a follower of Shelling and Pharasma, is there anything I could do in front of this altar of Aerodin to appease them?
You were given a number of clues earlier as to what you could attempt.
Okay. I'm sorry, my ADD has gotten the better of me. Clues down?
Fisherman said something about bringing food to people, so I'm going to pull a ration out of my pack and look at the city and see if there's any place that it belongs.
Is still successful in killing a centipede?
Yep. You can kill as many centipedes as you'd like.
Okay, I kill one while it's on the altar.
Okay. You each gain a +2 insight bonus to a single combat maneuver for the next 24 hours.
Cool.
Oh.
Alright. You said there was string in the city?
I do not believe so.
I thought I heard
The
something.
box text said that there were loops of string scattered about the
Let's
city.
see here. Ornately braided loops of strings. Yep.
gonna try and weave something between the buildings.
Okay.
Since there was something about the tailor sewing things together and bringing people together.
You weave some strings around. You get the idea that this is not what you're looking for.
Alright.
Zook tries to. He draws some lines in the field surrounding the city.
Okay. Nothing happens.
Okay. What were the 4 or 5 things again? There
The
was
craftsman who makes things, the fisherman who brings food to the people. There's the shepherd who directs people to tasks, and the tailor who sews as if bringing the people together.
And then the
Perhaps
hunter.
we should
The hunter who
join
kills-
hands around the altar.
Yeah, I'm down with joining hands.
Sure.
And then collectively recite the inscription below the tailor. Which also said something of a moot.
It did mention something about a moat, didn't it?
So you guys are all joining hands and standing around the city.
Yes.
Okay. Nothing happens, but you feel so much better about yourselves.
Okay. Zook tries to craft something out of the mud around the city.
Okay. Using what and how?
Just the mud. He's trying to craft a hut.
Okay. Can you make an appropriate craft type check?
I could do one untrained.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. You successfully craft something out of mud. We're not sure what. Some piece of modern abstract art, I suspect. You all get a +1 competence bonus to perception to find hidden doors and concealed objects for the remainder of the day. Okay, you put 5 gold pieces into a bank. Nothing happens.
So was that Ben who did the crafting with the mud?
It's Zook.
Zook.
Zook. Are you leaving those 5 gold pieces there, Aldous? Guess so.
Alright, let's see. Well, it was supposedly something about, we need to do something about directing people to tasks they're good at. I look at the city again, see if there's any, like, figurines or something in it.
Doesn't seem to be so. It's mostly a representation of the buildings. There are a couple frogs hanging around the outside of the city, but that's about it.
I round up some frogs and put them in the city.
Okay. You rounded up some frogs.
That's shepherding, isn't it?
Can you make a handle animal or intimidate check?
We'll try the intimidate check.
Yeah, let's
intimidate
the
those
altar.
fucks.
Okay. Let's intimidate the altar into giving us more buffs. I'm gonna roll diplomacy on the altar.
You try to intimidate these frogs, and they're just like, Barrow, Barrow, Barrow.
I will try to. Is handle animal a trained only
Trained
skill?
only. Yes. That's why I didn't try it.
I will also try and intimidate the frogs.
Okay. The frogs all jump off the platform. You gain a +2 insight bonus to a single check to perform and aid another action for the next 24 hours. Typing is really loud, Ben. And apparently someone is being arrested.
They'll never take all this alive.
So what's happening here?
Rory
pulls you guys aside and says,
So we've done the shepherd, the hunter, and the.
there's no hunter.
It's a fisherman.
Oh, the fisherman.
You've done the craftsman, the fisherman, and the shepherd.
We're still trying to figure out the tailor, which is something about bringing people together, which we thought we were doing with the whole hand-holding around the buildings.
Okay, Zook tries to create something, some kind of clothes from the string. Is that possible? Is there enough string?
To make clothing? No.
How about clothing for a frog? Is there enough for that?
No.
You have to unweave the string that I strung between the buildings, because I thought maybe weaving the buildings together would work.
So what did the tailor say? Inscription say?
It was about sewing fate together and bringing people together. I'm quite at a loss for this one.
And what else was there? There was a tailor, and then is there any others that we haven't done?
Nope.
So Rory pulls you guys aside and says, if you wish to help the plight of the Gilman people, I can tell you to the east and west passages here. You may find hostile and angry creatures who have long plagued us. If you were to remove them, I would consider it a sign of good faith.
Besides the fact that they are hostile, are there other information you might share?
The creatures change often. All I can say is that the cave is usually full of them.
Sure, I'm feeling up to killing something. How about you guys?
If something must die that we might live, then fate will provide.
All right, right or left?
Follow your nose.
Left is good for me.
All right, left it is.
Okay.
Is that this way?
Yes, let me gather up your characters here real quick.
Okay.
So, you come across a fast-flowing body of water.
What's the lighting in this area?
The persistent glow of bluish fungus dimly lights the area into the way deeper below the Cortos Mountains, so I'd guess it would be dimly lit. The tunnels broaden to reveal a shallow river that bisects an immense tunnel stretching to the north and south. To the east, a small passage exits the chamber with a steep incline.
I'm moving forward, looking closely at what
Okay?
might be seen.
Could I go ahead and enter, maybe go ahead a little bit if
Let's
that's okay with
roll for initiative, because when you enter the cave mouth, you see two creatures waiting for you on the other side.
Are they kobolds?
Those are kobolds with machine guns. I'm out.
They do look like kobold gunslingers as well.
Yeah, I was gonna try and enter stealth before they saw